The Hanafi scholars in my country make life difficult. So they say that women should not pray like men. First of all, we advise such scholars and students of knowledge to lower their gaze and not to look at women. How do you know that they're not praying properly? By you're looking at them. So lower your gaze and don't look at them. Secondly, the Prophet ﷺ had his female companions praying in the masjid with him and the other male companions, yet they were at the back of the masjid as far as possible, yet there were no barriers between men and women like we do have today. This meant that men coming late could easily see women offering prayer, standing in prayer. Never ever the Prophet ﷺ had instructed women to pull their legs together when standing up and not to stand normally like men or like normal people. He never told them to cave in themselves when doing ruku' or sujood, or to sit in a particular way in tashahhud. Rather, he said, pray, and this is for men and women, as you've seen me pray. Therefore, to come and claim, well, the Prophet ﷺ did not teach the women how to pray properly and to conceal themselves, but this doesn't mean that we shouldn't do this. That is a bit outrageous. A Muslim should not have the audacity to come and say and claim that I know more than the Prophet ﷺ or the companions. I'll teach women how to pray, which the Prophet ﷺ fell short from doing. A'udhu billah. Are you accusing the Prophet ﷺ of not knowing? Or are you accusing the Prophet ﷺ with holding information and not delivering to the Muslims? Either one is blasphemous. So I know that they have good intention. Good intention is not always recommended or approved. The son of Abdullah ibn Umar, and I believe his name was Bilal, once heard his father narrating a hadith. And his father said, the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, do not prevent women from attending the prayers in the masjid. Bilal, out of jealousy, being a hot-blooded Muslim, said, we will prevent them from attending the masjid. Because he had seen the abuse that some women made when they went to the masjid wearing flirtatious clothes and putting perfumes and defying the other instruction of the Prophet ﷺ. So he said this out of what he thought of as a goodwill gesture to protect women folk, to protect the society, not realizing that he's objecting and defying the instruction of the Prophet ﷺ. And this, there's no justification for that, no matter how good intention you had. Abdullah ibn Umar, when he heard this objection and defiance from his son to the instruction of the Prophet ﷺ not to prevent them, he cursed him and said bad things to him. The narrator of the hadith said, I've never heard Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, ever speak such words. And he kept on yelling at his son, I'm telling you, the Prophet says something, and you say, no, we will do against it. Go and leave, for wallahi, I will never speak to you again. And Abdullah stood at his words and never spoke to his son, despite the numerous times of him coming to seek forgiveness and apologize until Abdullah died, and he would not speak to his son. So when we come to these scholars and what they have come up with their good intention, we may say, okay, may Allah reward you, but this is inapplicable in Islam. We follow the Qur'an and the Sunnah with the understanding of the three favorite generations, and what you're bringing, it does not fall under any of those, and Allah knows.